All right. Hey guys, I'm starting a series on the daily coding challenges on Leetcode for each day. So um yeah, I'm just gonna start off from day one and then just slowly post videos for each day a new coding challenge comes out and we'll see how that goes. All right. So basically this is the first question. So special array one. So the description says an array is considered special if every pair of its adjacent elements contains two numbers with a different parity. So basically the parity means whether or not it's odd or even. And in Python, really the best way to check if something is odd or even is to just find the value of an integer mod 2. So mod 2 basically what mod 2 does, so this is a mod symbol. And so for any integer x mod 2 will basically give you either 0 or 1, which is basically like the remainder when you divide x by 2. So it's pretty straightforward logic that if like all even numbers, for example, 2, 4, 6, 8, when divided by 2 fully, they have remainders of 0, and which is why they're called even. And for odd elements such as 3, 5, 7, or 9, if you divide them by 2, then the remainder is 1. So that basically sets it to be odd, right? So, and this is done in O of 1, which basically is like the fastest way to do it. It's in constant time. So um, there's no space or time issues that would arise from this. So now to approach the actual problem itself. So now that we know how to find whether or not something's odd or even, we just now need to look at each of these examples and see how we'd approach it. So say this first example. So nums is equal to 214. And basically it's saying that it's special if each pair of adjacent elements, so for example, 2 and 1, and then 1 and 4, have like a different parity. So it's pretty straightforward. Really, all we need to do is to check each pair of adjacent elements. So in this case, we check 2 and 1, and then check if their parities are the same. If their parities are the same, then you basically automatically return false, the Boolean false, because it is not a special array. Whereas, for example, 1 and 4, uh, this also has well, actually 2 and 1 have different parities, so this actually works for this case. But the thing is, you want to check it for each pair. So then you check through 1 and 4. This one is also different because 1 has odd parity and 4 has even. And then this is also true. So basically, since we didn't run into any falses throughout this nums array when we're iterating through it, basically you can just go ahead and return true. However, in the case where there are two elements that have um, where you do have two elements that have the same parity. So in this case, when you look at, so you're initially looking at 4 and 3. This one is fine because it's even and odd parity, so this one's fine. Then you look at 3 and 1. The thing is 3 and 1 both have odd parity, so you automatically see that since they're the same, you just go ahead and return false. You don't have to check anything else because it is basically saying it's a special array if all adjacent elements have different parities. So in this case, it's false, and you can go ahead and return false. So coding it up is very simple. We can just set a for loop. So for I in range, so for I in range, we're checking each adjacent element to each adjacent pairs. So the thing is, one thing you could do is you could just go up to the length of nums minus 1 because there's going to be length of nums minus 1 number of pairs. Because, for example, we're looking at this thing which has 3 elements. And so the number of pairs are 2 and 1 and 1 and 4, which is 2. Over here, 4 elements. There's 1, 2, and then 3. which is basically length of nums minus one. Um, so we're gonna basically iterate through this and basically just check. So if nums I percent two is equal to nums I or nums I plus 1% two, then you return false. And it's going to go through this whole thing and see if there's any cases where the two elements are of the same parity. And in any case, if that comes by, you're just going to return false, or else you're going to pass through the whole loop and then return true. By the time it reaches this section, you already know that all pairs that we've seen so far are fine. They're all special. They're two different ones, so you can go ahead and do that. And this should work, I think. Yep. And then submit. Yep. So this is really the fastest possible way to do it because you have to go through the whole array to check each adjacent pair. And so it's done in O of n time because you're looking at the whole nums. All right. Thanks for watching, guys.